Dank times, Danker thoughts, sweet vibes and taking it sleazy. The dankness is taking over, nonsense is dancing through his mind. Oh, the dankness is taking over. Dank times, Danker thoughts with Angelo.
Welcome to yet another podcast with your boy Angelo, and we are on episode 52 with Dank Times Danker Thoughts coming at you. And hopefully this week I will have addressed the audio problem that seems to just plague this podcast. No matter what I do, I can't seem to help the reverberation on some of the recordings. You probably heard on the last one, I am talking further away from the mic this time because your boy gets a little animated sometimes, and he gestures wildly with his hands, and sometimes he does hit the microphone or the device that the microphone is attached to. So cross your fingers that this podcast is a little bit easier to listen to without all the audio disruptions, and dare I say the audio fuckery that tends to happen every now and then on Dank Times Danker Thoughts. But let's just jump right into our first topic, which is dating updates. Now, it's been a roller coaster, which is the adjective I tend to use all the time describing my dating life, single life, whatever you want to call it. And this week is no different. I have 2 dates scheduled with 2 African nurses. I don't know. See, this is what I'm talking about, people. A year ago, 2 years ago, even 6 months ago, I could not get a black woman to say yes on my profile, no matter what I tried to do. And now I'm getting the majority are African American or African ladies. And I'm getting a lot of, Chinese, Hong Kong, Singapore girls, but those, I tend to believe those are 9 out of 10 of those are going to be catfishes, and 9.5 out of 10 if I'm being perfectly honest. Not to stereotype here, or not to group everyone together, but the Asian girls tend to all use the same filters, and their photos, they all look eerily similar, and I think they're all using the same model, because I do know that in that culture, showing one's face is kind of a big deal. So I understand why they would want to use a stand-in or filters or whatnot, or I could just be full of shit, people I don't know. But as we speak, I have 2 dates set up, and there's a third one, hopefully, that I will set up here shortly, because I'm really hitting it off with the third one. The 2 that I'm going to go see, one I'm pretty excited about, the other one not so much, but I like to set the bars pretty low on these first meetups because it protects me. If you just imagine that the first date is going to be awful, just atrocious, just a multi-casualty train wreck of a situation, you will protect yourself with the inevitableness of that date being just like that. Now, every now and then, I go into a date assuming these things, and it actually turns out better. The girl that I saw for a couple weeks previously this year was like that. I wasn't all that excited to go meet her, but I thought, we've been talking, she's like a nice person, what do I got to lose, besides the dinner check. And we actually hit it off, and it worked out for a little short time there, but still, it was better than nothing. So the fact that I assume first dates are going to be bad no matter what, it actually helps you in the long run, I believe, because if it is a bad date, you've already protected yourself. You've already prepared, or you should have prepared mentally for that. And if it's not a bad date, well then, even a mediocre date, and this is where it does get a little dangerous sometimes, a mediocre date is probably seen as a better date than it actually is because your standards were so low, or your assumptions about this person were so low, or you were already preparing for the worst. So even mediocrity is shown more in a positive light, which is not a good thing. And honestly, even amazing, great first dates, obviously for me, because I'm still single, do not have a good track record. The Philly Monster, I don't think I've had a better first date. And we know how that one ended up. So, I should not have done those action noises when my mouth is dry as a motherfucker. But yes, I do see a lot of nurses are out, and guys and ladies, I would say, the nurses are out and they're ready to fuck, because after a year and a half of dealing with the front line shit, being called heroes all the time and then not getting compensated as heroes should do, and just the chaos that has been working in the medical field at all during COVID has these people just wanting to get plowed. And I commend them, and I do not blame them. In fact, I gotta respect the ones that come out and just say that, frontline worker, I want to blow off some steam. I see that in a About Me profile. I know exactly what that means. Pound town. So stupid. So stupid. So yeah, these next 2 dates are with nurses. The third one, which I have not set up yet, but I'm hoping if things progress the way they are, we will. She is a teacher, which is another profession that I respect highly. And I'm talking to a few other women, but I'm still on the fence with the majority of those. Because people, you have to assume, in this environment, you have to assume anybody you talk to on these dating apps, they're phonies, they're fakes, they're catfishes, they're lying to you. You just have to assume that. So you give them a little bit, and hoping that they give a little bit in return, and then you build out of that, and next thing you know, you built something nice, and you can be like, you know what? Let's take a chance. Can I get your phone number? Do you want to go out sometime? Hey, what are you doing this Friday? Let's go to 13 Coins. You know what I'm saying? But you have to build up to that. You can't ask that on the first day or the second day. I know I don't ask really until over a week, because I feel like that's enough time for me to kind of get a picture of a person's character. But again, based off digital answers, who knows? But at least I can lie to myself and say that I've been talking to this person long enough to form a opinion about them, whether or not they're even real. I've been lucky in my life that I have never been stood up on a date. I do have some friends, male and female, that have been stood up, and it's just awful. I feel really, truly awful for them. And if I ever get stood up, I don't think it would hurt me. But I guess I won't know that until it happens. But again, that's kind of why I tell people, set your expectations low when it comes to first dates. Because you may get stood up, and if you get super worked up about it, and then being stood up happens, it's going to ruin your whole shit. It could ruin your whole month, year of life. Who fucking knows? I don't know how weak you are. Oh man, but there is one girl I wanted to tell you guys about. So a lot of girls want to talk to you outside of the dating app. Now, that can be a red flag. It cannot be a red flag. It all depends on the situation and the person, obviously. I think it's a red flag if they want my phone number right away. Oh, I hate this app. Can we please talk out of it? And I always say, no, let's talk a little bit. You know, I don't like giving my phone number out on the first day or on the first meeting or the first time we're chit-chatting, whatever you want to call it. Now, day 3, sure, I don't give a fuck. If I'm still talking to you in 3 days, I feel a little bit of safe with you, so I can give you my phone number, and then the next stage is meetup or video chat or phone call, something. And this girl, I don't even remember what app I met her on. She wanted to talk outside of the app because she was deleting it because of all the awful things she was getting from the majority of guys, which is very believable because, as I've said many times, most men on the dating apps are goddamn baboon animal savages. I am not. I like to think I'm a baboon gentleman, for the most part. Anyway, she wanted to talk outside the app. She recommended a message app. I believe it was WhatsApp, if I remember correctly. I gave her my phone number, and normally in that situation, if I give out my phone number, within a couple hours, that person contacts me, and then I ask them, hey, who is this? They tell me. We exchange photos so we know who's who, and then we're off to the races. I gave this girl my phone number. I honestly do not remember how much time passed, but there was enough time passed that I did not recognize, or I did not know that someone was going to message me on that app. So it must have been a long time. Anyway, I got a message on WhatsApp. I didn't know who it was from. And this person was very forward. The first message was, "Hey, baby." So immediately I thought, this is a fucking scam. Anyone who calls me baby, I'm going to have your contact name saved in my phone. You know what I'm saying? So all I saw was a number, "Hey, baby." Immediately I thought of a scam. How did they get my phone number? What's going on? I texted back, "Who is this?" And they wrote back, "Your wildest dreams," or something about my dream. Like, they're my dream. And I wrote back, "Look, I don't know who this is. I'm going to block you if you don't tell me who you are, because I don't know who this is." She never gave me her name. She was being very coy about it. And then I said, all right, deleting, which I should have just blocked and deleted. I don't know. I'm telling this person I'm going to do it. Probably because I don't want to be an asshole. I probably thought I was being an asshole if I did that. In hindsight, fuck it, I should have been an asshole and deleted and blocked it right away. But I don't want to, cut the knees out right away of a potential winning situation with a girl, So I feel like I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But this person was pissing me the fuck off. But again, I wanted to give them a fair chance. I was getting no name. And then when I said for the third time, "I'm done, I'm going to block you," she told me that I was very rude and that I'm not a gentleman. How could I ask her name if I never introduced myself? And I thought, that's a bullshit response. But sounds like this person could be from another country, could be another culture. I don't know. So I said, "That's okay. My name is Angelo. What is your name?" And she said, "My friends call me Fairy." And I thought, okay, your friends call you Fairy? So you don't, this is obviously a fake account. So I told her that. I said, okay, no offense. I don't remember talking to a fairy. So I deleted it. I didn't block it, which is on me. I deleted the number. And then this crazy person wrote back saying, "Okay, then you choose die." I thought, what the fuck? Okay, you choose die? So already I knew this person, English isn't their first language. Okay, you choose die. I thought, holy shit, are they outside the house? Is there some spurned lover out there with a fucking crossbow? What's going on? And of course, nothing was happening. And then after seeing that, I deleted it. Again, I should have blocked after they said I choose death or they're going to kill me. Whatever. They used the word die. That should be an immediate block. I must have been stoned or I must have thought it was funny and I deleted it. But this morning, after getting that death text last night, this morning I wake up to a text from the number saying, "Hey, hi." Like there was nothing before it. Like the whole previous interaction never happened. So that time I said, "Oh, why is this person contacting me still?" Then I did block them. So wild stuff, people. A complete stranger wanted me to choose death because I was deleting this person because I had no idea who they are. So, hey, that's dating 2021 right there. A stranger wishing you death. Usually I have to be in a relationship with a woman for a few months for them to wish me death. You live and you learn, people. You live and you learn. But on the brighter side of things, I'm meeting more genuine people than ever. Not ever before, but I should say since COVID, I'm meeting the best quality of people the last 2 weeks. Like, they're actual people. They're not fake, phony accounts. Hookers, prosties, or just ladies that want another member to their OnlyFans. Which, again, I don't care if you have an OnlyFans. But if that's all you want, no. I think I could date someone who had an OnlyFans. I wouldn't shame them. I would have questions about how much they do on the OnlyFans. I would probably have to ask this person a few questions, and ultimately it may not work. But if she says, "Yeah, I don't want to show my face on there because I don't want it to come back to bite me if I'm trying to get a job or become president or something, so I wear a mask, I I cover any tattoos, whatever. Just shit like that. I really wouldn't give a fuck about. But if they're just, fucking on there with strangers or just cam videoing it up, just masturbating themselves and just, sticking zucchini up themselves, I don't think I could do that. I could be like, you know what? Good luck. I hope you find a guy who's cool. That's not going to be me. And what's the website again? But there is some levels where I think I wouldn't care. I talk big now. Who knows when it would actually happen, what I would do. But I often wondered how I would treat a situation where I'm head over heels in love with this girl and she tells me, by the way, I am a cam girl, or I have an OnlyFans, or I strip on the weekends, I've been hiding it from you. I honestly, or if I was a prostitute in earlier life, shit like that, or I was once a porn star, I would like to think that I wouldn't hold it against them in a negative way. I can't imagine me being completely okay about it, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, and get real Christian about it. No, I don't think I would do that. I would have to probably judge the person as I know them, judge their character as I know them. Now, if they said I'm still doing those things, that's completely different. But I honestly, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to take a risk here and say I think I would be okay with it if I liked the person enough. If I saw a future with this person and a family, children, and a vice presidency for me when she becomes president, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. Now, saying all that, what kind of porn were you doing? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. I think we can move on from the dating updates. I'm trying to think if I got anything else to say here. Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on the next podcast of how these future dates go. I should have gone on at least 2 of them by the next recording. So yeah, I'll keep y'all informed. But let's move on to the news. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, there is a worker shortage in this country, even though everyone keeps telling me that so many places are hiring. So I don't know where this argument for a worker shortage is coming from. Oh wait, yes I do. It's because everyone's freaking out because people are choosing to stay on unemployment instead of getting a shitty ass job that pays them less than unemployment and doesn't give them benefits or retirement, or to summarize it, they're not giving them a livable wage. And some people are saying, well, that shouldn't be a question. They should get off unemployment. They're leeches. Not so sure. Not so sure. If you're living a better life on unemployment, financially speaking, compared to working at Arby's or Sonic or McDonald's or any job, I don't know why I'm choosing fast food, but a job like that, where you get paid less and the job is shit, you got to work with the public. By the way, are there a worse bunch of cunts than the public? So I don't really blame people. And I have to congratulate the few companies that are raising wages for new hires. I mean, they should raise wages for everybody in a perfect society, but I understand you got to start somewhere. And I believe McDonald's is doing that. But then the caveat to that is, well, it's only franchise McDonald's that are raising that, which are like less than 10% of all the McDonald's in the country. So we'll give you table scraps. I will say the COVID and the unemployment hike related to COVID and the closing of so many businesses because of COVID and the working from home has really woken up a lot of people thinking, you know what? I'm doing pretty okay working from home or doing whatever I'm doing and not going to my shitty ass job with my shitty ass bosses working for a shitty ass company. And I think the smart companies are catching up to that and realizing, oh shit, we have to pay these workers better than a slave wages, which I shouldn't say slave wages. That's a little bit disrespectful. So I'll say poor wages. But the fact remains, maybe we should be paying our workers a livable wage. So I do commend the businesses that are doing that. But I this worker shortage has such an easy fix, really. If the big businesses and big companies overall, if they just start paying their workers this livable wage, which means a hike in what they're paying, not only, I would even go so far as to say, raise wages for all your employees. But I understand it depends on the company and the line of work and blah, 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 blah. So for the sake of the argument, let's say fast food. We can all agree the likes of McDonald's, Red Robin, Cheesecake Factory, Burger King, Jack in the Box. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that rake in billions of dollars every single year. And now this is how stupid I am. I don't know how much they're paying their employees, all of those companies I just rattled off. But for the sake of my biased argument, let's say the average of those restaurants are paying their workers $10 an hour. And again, I have no way of backing up that number whatsoever. It's entirely made up. But for the sake of this rant, it's exactly what it is. So if you want to not only hire new people, but keep your current employees, you can give them all the pizza parties. You could give them, print out certificates for awesomeness, employee of the month. You can give them all these empty, hollow prizes. But when you strip away all that nonsense, money talks, baby. Money talks. They made a movie about it with Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. I believe that was the movie, Money Talks. Minimum wage should be $15 in this country, and it really should be $20. Because by the time it's $15, it's going to be a couple of years from now, and by then it should be in the mid-20s, unless we really radicalize some areas in this country with the income inequality. But my whole point being, I do not blame workers for not returning to shit jobs or not starting new shit jobs if they get a better life on unemployment. I don't consider them leeches. I consider their businesses as the leeches. They're leeching off these people and not paying them dick. I will say this, though. If you do need a job and you don't want to stay in unemployment, but you just cannot stand working for a company that's going to pay you less than you were making on unemployment, or just not even that. They could be paying you more than what you were making on unemployment, but it's not a livable wage by any stretch of the imagination. If you have to do that, I highly, highly hope you would choose, instead of working at a major conglomerate, you would work for a smaller ma and pa company if that option is available. Because if you're going to get shit wages, I'd rather get shit wages from someone who's putting their life and their own financials on the line by starting their own business. That I can understand. There is a level of respect I have for those individuals that choose that. I would never fault someone for not wanting to work at a McDonald's because they're getting more on unemployment. No. That just shows you how fucking corrupt and awful what it is for the working class people in this world. Not this world, but in this country. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Let's move on to another news topic. The House on Wednesday passed a bill to establish a commission to investigate the January 6th attacks on the Capitol, earning relatively little support from Republicans as GOP leaders sought to quash a bill negotiated by one of their own members. Lawmakers passed the bill 252 to 175, with 35 Republicans joining all Democrats in support. Not surprising to me that the Republicans don't want this commission, because it's going to make them look bad, baby. It's going to make them look bad and complicit. A lot of them. A lot of people who are still serving as elected officials who keep regurgitating the conspiracy theory lie that Donald Trump actually won the election. I don't see how the people that still believe that in government haven't been tarred and feathered and kicked out into the Pacific or the Atlantic. I don't get it. I just don't understand that. This is how nations fall, people. Okay? Anyway, I'm getting off topic there. The legislation's chances appear increasingly slim in the Senate after both Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, cunt, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, content, came out in opposition to the bill. What a shocker. What a shocker. I thoroughly support this commission because I want to know how the fuck it happened and who helped it, who initiated it, who helped further it, and who gave it fuel during it. Like I said, the Hollies, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Bobbitts of the world, the Jim Jordans. There's just a lot of traitorous scum in the Republican Party that need to get cleansed. We know as a country who our enemies are. At least the smart one. The smart people do. The somewhat educated, common sense believing Americans do. But I do worry about one aspect of what could happen with this January 6th commission, is that if you look back in American history to the 2001 9/11 commission, the Patriot Act came out of that commission, and that's bad. Some good things have happened because of the Patriot Act, but they are overshadowed by the overwhelmingly awful, borderline illegal, in a lot of ways, things that have come to it with domestic surveillance. And not even, domestic international surveillance as a whole. So that's what I worry about with this January 6th commission, is something like the Patriot Act. Patriot Act 2.0, let's call it. And I know it's going to be sold as a way to comb through social media or to comb through the internet, chat rooms, what have you, trying to pick up on certain words or phrases or images and whatnot. And it sounds okay, because if you're picking up Nazi paraphernalia or white supremacist talks, things like that, you want to be able to find it and root it out and take care of it. But the trade-off is every American, or whoever the government wants to look at, is giving up any kind of privacy for the veiled belief that this is for national security. How many terrorists has the Patriot Act stopped, or how many future terrorist attacks has the Patriot Act stopped? I don't know that. But has it been worth the over 20 years of domestic surveillance and where we are in this country right now? That, I think, we can at least have a debate about it. So the idea that something similar could come out of these January 6th commission does scare me a little bit and give me pause. However, I do understand we need to figure out a way to understand how this happened. It's just what are they going to do in this commission to look at future events? That's what's going to give me pause. That's what's going to, perk my ears up and really listen to what's being said, what's being talked about in a way that is acceptable or not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it doesn't look good to pass the Senate, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what that means. The GOP's leader's refusal to back the bill threatens the chances of the proposed commission becoming law, as many Republicans seek to divert attention from former President Trump's role and their own involvement, echoing his false claims of election fraud leading up to the insurrection. I already said that. Kevin McCarthy insisted that the legislation should have expanded its scope, arguing it ignores the political violence that has struck American cities at Republican congressional baseball practice. Oh, okay, so this guy's full of fucking shit and fear-mongering and diversion tactics. Fucking McCarthy, man. You just want... I would pay good money to see him get waterboarded. But anyway, I'm all for the January 6th commission. It's just, what are they going to talk about for the future terrorist threats like January 6th? That's what I want to hear about. But anyway, let's move on. Senator Bernie Sanders introduced a resolution Thursday to block a planned $735 million sale of precision-guided weapons to Israel as hostilities continue between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Sanders' resolution came after President Biden urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a call on Wednesday to de-escalate the conflict. The Israeli government said it had agreed to a ceasefire in its conflict with Hamas late Thursday. Geez, has it anything to do with the stopping of the $735 million weapons deal? Because just the other day, they were all talking about, no, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going full speed. Oh man, I miss Busta Rhymes. At a moment when U.S.-made bombs are devastating Gaza and killing women and children, we cannot simply let another huge arms sale go through without even a congressional debate, Sanders said in a statement on Thursday morning. I believe that the United States must help lead the way to a peaceful and prosperous future for both Israelis and Palestinians. We need to take a hard look at whether the sale of these weapons is actually helping do that, or whether it is simply fueling conflict. Oh, once again, thank God for Bernie Sanders. A lot of politicians talk the talk, but this motherfucker walks the walk. And, I agree with him on this, obviously. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't agree with it. The resolution seeks to halt the planned sale of joint direct attack munitions, also called JDAMs, and small diameter bombs. A similar resolution was introduced in the House by Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Mark Pocan, and Rashida Tlaib. I never know how to say her last name. For the sake of this, I'm going to say Rashida Tlaib, except I think that's an actress. Rashida Tlaib. Rashida T. The resolution is privileged, meaning that Sanders could call it to the floor for a vote without having to vote to advance the legislation first. My man, getting straight to the point. None of this bureaucratic bullshit. I want to vote on it now, goddammit. It would require a simple majority to pass, although it is unclear whether the resolution would receive sufficient support from Democrats to be approved. However, if it did pass and Mr. Biden, what news source is this? What journalistic integrity do they have? They're calling the president Mr. Biden. This is CBS News. Ooh. Anyway. However, if it did pass and Mr. Biden vetoed the resolution, a 2/3 majority vote in both houses of Congress would be needed to override the veto. Former President Donald Trump, well, they didn't call him Mr. Trump, they said former President Donald Trump. CBS, a little spinsy newsy. Former President Donald Trump previously vetoed 3 resolutions to block arms sales to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, and there was not enough support in Congress to override these vetoes. But that was under another president, so I would like to think that this would at least have a good debate. I don't know if the resolution would pass. I would like to think it would, but who the fuck knows? I'm just happy that Netanyahu says he's going to stop, or he's at least going to try to do peace talks. So if nothing else, Bernie Sanders at least made that happen by introducing the resolution. So I applaud the old man yet again. If this country had any kind of courage or character or empathy or just love for the common man, Bernie Sanders would have been a 4-term president a long time ago. And we would have elected him 4 times. He wouldn't be a 4-term president because he'd be a socialist dictator or nothing like that. We would just keep electing him because he is the fucking man. So, what alternate universe could that have been? But anywho, let's move on to non-news topics. I have one of my good friends visiting from California this week, and I had him and a few other friends over to my place earlier this week. And, we started sharing a joint because we're all vaccinated. We've all been vaccinated. So we felt that it was safe enough to finally share a joint as God intended joints to be used for. And so, catching up, chit-chatting. I mean, some of these guys I haven't seen since the pandemic. Some of them I haven't seen longer. So it was really nice to see everybody. Anyway, we started catching up and we started talking about movies. We ended up watching Jackie Brown, which is a very good, underrated movie. And I don't know why Tarantino fans hate on the movie so much. Probably because it's the only movie that he didn't write himself. He adapted it from a book. So I understand it's not 100% a Tarantino film, but he still directed it and it is still a Tarantino film. People, I don't care what the fuck you think. It's a good movie, very good. It holds up still. I've seen that movie probably 7 or 8 times, and it's still enjoyable, still damn good. Underrated performance by De Niro. Anyway, I came up with some good movie ideas talking to my buddies and watching Jackie Brown. Both are kind of similar, but I think they can be entirely different. The first one would be about 4 guys that are on dating apps, because this is 3 out of the 4 of us are on dating apps at the moment. One of my friends is in a very serious, long-lasting relationship, so if anything, he could give us advice, but I don't know how good it would be. He's been out of the game a long time, and that is to assume that he had game at one time. And I thought of an idea about 4 guys like us. All of us are single. All of us are living that single life on dating apps, and we're all having our own trials and tribulations, and you could use real-life stories that all of us have had, or I could share a platitude of stories that I have had. And they come up with the idea of what we should do. Let's all download an app and take pictures of ourselves and have that app merge all of our faces together, creating a combined image of all four of us. Let's create a dating profile using that photo and see what happens. And boy, does that profile get hit with some bangers. And what happens is they start going on dates with these girls, but because the photo looks like all four of them, each one goes on a different date. They all look somewhat similar to the shared photo, so they're all trying to play it off like, oh no, that's really me. So they're kind of catfishing these people, but only like 25% catfishing, because it really is them, just all of them put together. I guess it would be flipped, because if there's four of them, it would be 75% a catfish. Ooh, how did I graduate college? But I think that'd be a funny TV show. I don't think you could do a season. Maybe it would be like a 2-episode show. I don't know. Or maybe it would be nothing at all, and you're all thinking this is fucking stupid, Angelo. But you gotta admit, the idea of taking a photo and combining all the four guys into one and using it as a dating profile image, and that being more popular. I mean, that premise alone is pretty funny. Maybe you didn't like where I went with the premise, but the premise works, baby. And it's copywritten by Dank times Danker Thoughts with Angelo Grosso. Now, the other idea that I had is somewhat similar. It deals with an absolute 100% catfishing. Obviously, we were talking about catfishing and the bullshit that is dating apps when I came up with these ideas. So the second idea is a couple is getting a divorce. In fact, I would say the couple are no more. The movie starts with the divorce already over with. And let's say the couple are in their mid to late 30s. And let's say they were high school sweethearts and they got married right out of high school and both went to college. Let's say one finished, one didn't. Let's say it was the woman that finished. He didn't. And so the marriage produced some kids. They raised a family. But as they got older, they realized they hated each other and they were only staying together for the kids. And because they really didn't know anybody else, they never slept with anybody else. So all they knew was each other. But once the youngest kid was able to move out, they said, you know what, we're done. We're calling it quits. And for the sake of the movie, let's say she raked him over the coals in the divorce and he is piss-ass broke, whereas she's still living in the old home with the kids and he's out living in a shitty apartment. We don't have to make this woman such a monster. We could make the man fuck up. Let's say maybe he cheated on her near the end. Let's say they were already going through the divorce proceedings. Or, let's even, I came up with a good idea here. Let me back up. Let's say they were already talking about potentially getting a divorce. Potentially. And because they had that conversation, he thought, well, I am going to have a one-night stand with somebody. For whatever reason, let's say that happens. So let's say he cheated on her. He committed adultery. Right near the end of the marriage, let's say they even agreed to get a divorce, and then he cheated on her. And because he cheated on her, they used that in the court for him to lose a lot more. And he really did hurt her. He didn't have to do that. He was a kind of an asshole, and he is apologetic. He does feel awful about it, but she is genuinely heartbroken, but she kind of twists the knife and kind of turns into a monster near the end. But he is kind of to blame for it. But by the end, she is the monster. But you really can't blame her completely. But you also think, man, this woman is ruthless, cold-blooded. And so this guy, for the life of him, does not know how to live in society. He doesn't know how to talk to women. He has to get a second job. Maybe he's doing Uber or something. And he just is unhappy with life. He just can't take it. And he decides, based on the advice on one of his kids, he gets on some dating apps and he gets catfished immediately. And he actually loses a lot of money, what little money he has, because he believes this person is who they say they are online. Let's say he sent this fake catfish account a couple grand, okay? So now he's borderline suicidal, okay? But instead what he decides to do is something kind of macabre. He decides to catfish his ex-wife. Oh, because he knows She is just as inexperienced as he is in the dating life. So he downloads men of his age, but obviously like models or like good looking people. This guy is not a good looker. Okay, yeah, he's probably a 5 out of 10, and he's downloading images of 8s. Okay, and so he somehow, with the help of somebody, I don't know, I haven't thought about that. I don't know how he would find his wife on a dating app, but let's just say that part is taken care of. He finds her, she matches, and he starts to catfish his ex. And then she starts sending him money, and that is how he pays off the divorce bill that he could never pay back because he is piss-ass broke, borderline suicidal. But now he's getting his money back from his ex-wife, and now he can pay off his attorney fees. He can quit his shit job and try to better himself by getting a better job. And before you say, Jesus, Angelo, this was really awful for the woman, after he kind of figures out his life and he realizes that, you know what, no wonder they got a divorce. He was an awful husband. Even before he cheated, he was a piece of shit. And then you could be a flashback of how it was him, not her, that started the slide down into mediocrity and then into awfulness. It wasn't her doing, it was his. And he realizes, you know what, I feel awful about everything. And so then he goes back to his ex-wife, explains everything to her. And this is where I haven't figured out what to do. Because if he comes clean, in what scenario would she be okay with that? You know, what scenario would she be like, oh, that's okay, I'll take you back? Because that's ultimately how I want to end the film, is they get back together. And they decide, you know what, both of us don't know what the fuck we're doing out in the single world. Both of us already know each other. We know what we have to work on now. Maybe this is just what we needed. I'm so sorry. And they work it out in the end. But I don't think that would happen if he flat out says, I've been catfishing you. I'm actually Richard. And she would be like, oh, why? And instead of saying, I'm calling the cops. Why wouldn't she just call the police? So I would like to think that she knew the whole time. And she went along with it. Because she also was on the dating apps and had awful experiences. And you could go through a montage of her talking to a guy and then just getting dick pic, dick pic, dick pic, dick pic over and over again. So I think that would be a nice little movie. I think that would be a nice 1.5-hour movie starring Timothy Olyphant and who would be a good wife to Timothy Olyphant? The blonde wife from Modern Family. I think that'd be a nice couple. They're both the same age. I think they're both in their late 40s, early 50s. So maybe not them. I do want someone in their, maybe they're in their 40s. No, making late 30s. I'd have to recast, but the reason I picked Timothy Olyphant right away is because, good Lord. Again, I'm not gay. Well, I'm 5% gay according to that test. So I'm only 5% gay. But if I was switched, so if I was 95% gay, I would have to put Timothy Olyphant top 3 of dudes that I'd want to be with. He is perfect to me. Timothy Olyphant, Ryan Reynolds. Oof. The third one, I don't know. I'd have to debate that. But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about movie ideas. So the first one about the 4 guys combining their photos and making one for a dating profile, I think that would be just a nice short, or maybe a nice. I think you can make a nice movie out of that. I really do. Couldn't be a long one. Maybe an 1.5 hour and 40 minutes. But I think the whole divorce catfishing one, that could be a good movie because it's dark, macabre humor, but there's also we can all sympathize. Well, most people could sympathize. Whenever my parents talk to me about my dating life, I don't think they can quite wrap their brains around the idea of dating apps. Well, they don't. I know they don't understand apps in general, but when I do answer that question by saying, "Oh, I met someone on this app that I'm whatever," and I just tell them a little bit what's going on. They want to know. They're interested, but they understand maybe 25% of what I'm saying. Oh, God, I hope that doesn't happen to me. It probably will. And it already is, because that's how I am about TikTok and cryptocurrency. Oh, fuck. I'm old already. Those goddamn kids better get off my lawn out there. Anyway, let's move on to, I think we can squeeze in some Angelo's journal here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we got plenty of time. All right, let's find a good entry here. Oh, but for those of you that don't know, I keep an ongoing journal on my phone, and every now and then I think of something funny, or I think of an idea, or I just think of something stupid. I put it in here, and then I read it on the podcast because to me that's entertainment. All right, here's one. Almost losing it at the barista who dared question my multiple breakfast good purchases. Bitch, I know I shouldn't buy both the sandwich and a burrito for breakfast on the same day. I don't need you to tell me nothing, lol. Remember that. You ever have a day where you just wake up angry? Oh, God, I don't remember the specific reasons why, but it may have been during that stretch where I was having just the worst sleep I've ever gotten in years. It probably, if ever, there was that stretch for about 2.5 weeks. But anyway, I remember going to the nearby latte stand that I go to far too much. And they know me so well that once I drive up, they say, "Oh, do you want your latte?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." I don't have to say anything. I just shake my head and they give it to me. Anyway, that particular morning, I must have had a real rough one because I ordered my latte and a breakfast sandwich and a breakfast burrito, which is never a good thing to do. And yes, the barista made a joke about it. She said something to the point of, "Oh, geez, that's a lot of cholesterol," or "That's a lot of or something." But I don't think she was doing it in a mean way. And I got so livid. I didn't say anything. But in my brain, it was World War III. Yeah, I don't need you to say anything. Obviously, look at me. I shouldn't be ordering a breakfast sandwich and a breakfast burrito. Obviously, I'm not having a good morning. I don't need you to say shit. Because I never would do that, okay? I would never do that. Now, I've never worked in a job where I would have to, at the bank, I had to judge people all the time. That was part of my job, was judging them. But I never dealt with judging someone's food choices. I could judge them with their financial decisions. That was an extremely important part of my job, which, hey, sometimes you gotta be blunt to people about their financials, and they do not like it, but they need to hear it. But yeah, I would like to think I would never judge a fatty buying a fatty breakfast because, hey man, let them have it. Obviously they're having a rough one, or obviously they've given up in life already. Let them have the breakfast sandwich and the breakfast burrito. By the way, is there a better breakfast food? No. Is there a better food in general? I don't think there's a better food item than a breakfast burrito. And I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill 7-Eleven, put in the microwave for a minute 50 breakfast burrito. I'm talking, think of the best breakfast burrito you've ever had. My mouth is watering thinking of this. Think of the best breakfast burrito you've ever had, and then make it better. Maybe add a little bit of hash brown in there. Maybe a little bit of sour cream and avocado. Ooh, some cilantro. Maybe some nice creme fraiche. Now that burrito is a 12 out of 10. I don't think anything can beat that. The best pizza, the best sandwich, the best pasta, the best sushi, the best regular burrito, the best Chinese food. I don't give a fuck. Ain't nothing beating a breakfast burrito. Now, if we're talking desserts, oof, maybe tiramisu. But a breakfast burrito, you can have a giant breakfast burrito, like the size of that Japanese salamander. Have you ever seen a Japanese salamander? Jesus Christ, it looks like an alien from Booger Planet. But you can get a burrito that size. And I can't imagine the size equivalent of a tiramisu would be that delicious that long. But now that I'm thinking about it, I would at least give it a shot. So it's in the running, baby. I would say breakfast burrito, best food ever made. Close, but a close second nonetheless would be tiramisu. Anyway, I think with that we can wrap this up. Oh, God. We didn't get to half of the topics I wanted to talk about, and I was doing pretty good there for a while. I was really zooming through those news topics, I feel like. But once we start getting your boy rambling, God help you, it's a mudslide of shit and nonsense. So, yeah, I hope you all take it easy. Love one another. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Treat others as you want to be treated. All that other nonsense. And yeah, love ya. Bye-bye. Ooh, until next time. It's a better ending.